Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shivanusuta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So, quick announcements that next week, July 11th, is Rath Yatra in Toronto. So we will not have classes next week for all batches. So no class on Friday, 10th of July, no class on Saturday, 11th of July, and no classes on Sunday, 12th of July. So I've sent messages out for those who are in local Toronto area. There are a lot of service opportunities from tomorrow, Sunday, 5th of July, as well as from 9th of July, Thursday onwards. So you can please consider to come for as much services as possible. The next announcement is that mid-September, the week of Radha Ashtami, will start Bhagavad Gita batch number 8. So I request all of you to help in getting at least 100 souls for this batch. So because it is batch number 8, we'll try to target the auspicious 108 or more souls for this batch. So look in all your contacts, friends, families, and try to get as many souls as possible. And during that same mid-September week, for batch 6 and 7, Bhagavatam new batch will also start. And for batch 3, 4, and 5, Bhagavatam Canto 3 will start. So pretty heavy week. That new batch number 8, then a new Srimad Bhagavatam batch, and for batch 3, 4, and 5, Canto 3 will start. So I request your help as much as is possible. Thank you in advance. So today we will revise Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, unit number 22, covering chapters 4, 5, and 6. And towards the end, I will also answer inquiries from our previous session. We'll start with Shivangi, chapter 4.
Hare Krishna Jayantipurji, seeking permission and blessings from all of you, Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru Parampara, and Shri Ramakrishna, to offer the summary of Canto 5, Chapter 4, titled The Characteristics of Bishop Siva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please forgive me for my shortcomings and mistakes. The Lord, as soon as he was born as Bishop Siva, the son of King Navi, exhibited something of the Supreme Lord, such as marks on the bottom of his feet. He was equal to everyone and very peaceful, being in control of his senses and mind, and possessing all opulences, he did not hanker for material enjoyment. He exhibited all the good qualities described by Greek poets and sages. He had a well-built body. He had prowess, strength, beauty, name, fame, influence, and enthusiasm. King Nabi was always overwhelmed with transcendental bliss and was very affectionate towards his son under the influence of pure communion. The king began to read Sashapura with great affection, and he was overwhelmed with a lot of love and devotion. Understanding Sashapura's popularity, King Nabi enthroned him as the emperor of the world to give protection to everyone in alignment with the Vedic religious system. To do this, he entrusted to him the hands of 30 brahmanas who would guide him in administrating the government. Then, eventually, King Nabi and his wife retired from family life and engaged themselves in austerities and penances with great devotion. In full samadhi, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by doing so, he attained perfection and went to the Vaikuntha planets. All material activities are meant for satisfying the senses, which are contaminated, and King Nabi did not perform anything contaminated. He executed his transcendental activities, even not performing sacrifices. Consequently, he obtained the Supreme Lord as his son. After King Nabi retired, Lord Bishop Deva lived as an example and taught the duties of household life by first accepting brahmacharya under the guidance of a spiritual master, and he also went to live in a gurukula. After his education was finished, he gave Guru Dakshina to his spiritual master and accepted the life of a household. He married a wife named Jayanti and gave birth to 100 sons who were as powerful and qualified as himself. Together, they performed household life in an exemplary way. Out of his 100 sons, the eldest was named Bharata, and he was a great exalted devotee king who was qualified with the best attributes. In his honor, the planet is known as Bharatvarsha today. His other sons were also very exalted, and some of them went to become advanced devotees and authorized preachers of the Bhagavatam. According to their father's order, the remaining sons became well-cultured, well-behaved, and pure in their activities and expert in music knowledge and the performance of rituals, spirit rituals. Thus, they all became perfectly qualified brahmanas. This illustrates that one's social position is determined by qualities and activities rather than birth, as the Kshatriya's sons assumed different roles according to their qualifications, and not all of them went on to live as Kshatriyas. Being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Kshatriya was fully independent because he was spiritual, eternal, and full of transcendental bliss. He was always supervised, and he saw everyone on the same level. He was unhappy to see others in misery, and he was the well-wisher of all living entities. Although he was a perfect personality, the supreme Lord and controller of all, he nonetheless acted as if he were an ordinary conditioned soul. He strictly followed the principles of Varnashram Dharma and acted accordingly to set a proper example. As the principles of the Varnashram system have become neglected over the course of time, through his personal characteristics and behavior, Bishop Deva taught the ignorant people how to perform duties within the system. In this way, he educated everyone in householder life, and by his instructions, he showed how people could remain householders while at the same time become perfect in devotional service. The material world is described by the Lord as Dukkalayam Ashashvatam, a temporary place of misery. No one can remain here, even if he makes a compromise with misery. One has to give up this body and accept another, which may not even be a human body. As soon as one accepts the material body, he is subjected to all the material conditions. Therefore, the leaders of society must be so ideal, following the footsteps of the Bishop Deva, that by following them, one can relieve from the clutches of material existence. Although the Lord knew everything about confidential Vedic knowledge, he still maintained himself as a Kshatriya and followed the instructions of the Brahmanas. He performed all kinds of sacrifices 100 times according to instructions in the Vedic scriptures. Thus, he satisfied Lord Vishnu in every respect. He worshipped Lord Vishnu, and the prasada was distributed to all his demigods. Another key lesson in this chapter is that no one likes to possess anything that is like a will of the wisp or a flower in the sky, that everyone knows very well that such things do not exist. When Lord Rishabdeva ruled this planet, even common men did not want for anything at any time or by any means. Everyone was completely satisfied, and therefore there was no chance of anyone's hankering for anything. The people were so absorbed in affection for the king, and since this affection was always exceeding, they were not inclined to ask for anything. Like this, the citizens were immensely supplied with all necessities of life due to the Lord's good government. This is the perfection of government. The citizens are unhappy due to bad government, or heads of government are condemned. During current times, this system of monarchy is destroyed by people. Lord Bishop gave us an example of how an emperor of the whole world kept all citizens fully satisfied by supplying the necessities of life and following the Vedic principles. Thus, everyone is happy during his rule. This concludes the summary. Thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Super excellent. Any questions, comments, realizations for Shivangi? All right, I will also quickly summarize chapter 4. So Canto 5, Unit 22 is titled Maharaj Rishabdeva, covering chapters 4, 5, and 6. Chapter 4 is titled The Characteristics of Rishabdeva, Supreme Personality of Godhead. The qualities of Rishabdeva describe that from beginning of his birth, Rishabdeva's feet were marked with the transcendental signs of flag, a thunderbolt, lotus flower, etc. As the Lord began to grow, he became very prominent. He was equal to everyone. Although he had all the opulences, he was not at all attached to material enjoyment. He was self-controlled and therefore liked by everyone. Due to his super excellent qualities, everyone wanted him to rule the earth. Some further qualities are that he was fully independent, eternally free from material miseries, full of transcendental bliss, as a controller, equipoised, undisturbed by material senses, and friendly to everyone, as well as merciful to all. Indra, being the envious Indra, becomes envious of Rishabdev. Hence, Indra stopped rain on Bharatvarsh. Understanding Indra's envy, Rishabdev, the master of yoga, poured rain upon Ajanaba through Yogamaya. Bharatvarsh was formerly known as Ajanaba Varsha because it was ruled by King Nabi and his son Rishabdev. And after Bharat Maharaj's rule, the eldest son of Rishabdev, the tract of land became celebrated as Bharatvarsha. Considering Supreme Personality of Godhead to be his own son, Maharaj Nabi was certainly an illusion. But this was transcendental illusion facilitated by Yoga Maya. This transcendental illusion is required. Otherwise, how can one accept the Supreme Father as his own son? The Supreme Lord appears as the son of one of his devotees, here as son of Nabi, just as Lord Krishna appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj. So these devotees could never think of their son as Supreme Personality of Godhead, for such appreciation would hamper their relationship of paternal love. Then Nabi enthrones Rishabdev because Rishabdev was popular among citizens and ministers. Rishabdev would give protection to people in terms of Vedic religious systems. And then Nabi renounced everything and attained Vaikuntha. So Rishabdev is an example of an ideal brahmachari life as well as an ideal grahastha life. Two purposes of incarnation are to liberate the devotees and to stop the demoniac activities of non-devotees. Rishabdev had nothing to learn from Gurukul. He went there just to teach the people in general how to take an education from the right source, from Vedic teachers. Rishabdev taught ignorant people by his examples because whatever action is performed by great men, common men follow. So Rishabdev followed Brahmanas. Rishabdev performed perfect sacrifices to satisfy Vishnu. Rishabdev satisfied citizens, and Rishabdev instructed his 100 sons. The 100 sons of Rishabdev, the 10 Kshatriya sons, eldest son is Bharat, is a great exalted devotee. In his honor, this planet became known as Bharatvarsh. Then 9 Mahabhagavat sons, very exalted devotees, authorized preachers of Srimad Bhagavatam, were glorified for their strong devotion. And then 81 sons were perfectly qualified Brahmanas, well cultured, well behaved, very pure in their activities, and expert in Vedic knowledge and rituals. All 100 sons were born as Kshatriyas, but by qualities, some became Kshatriyas, some Mahabhagavats, and some Brahmanas. That's a quick summary of chapter 4. Questions, comments, realizations? All right, we'll hear from Abhishek and Sridhar Prabhu on chapter 5. Abhishek first.
Hare Krishna everyone, seeking permission from all devotees, Srila Prabhupada and Shri Radha Krishna to be present on first two sections of chapter 5. So this chapter speaks about Lord Rishabhde's teaching to his son, and these teachings describe the Bhagavad Dharma, which transcends the religious principle for liberation and mitigating material misery. So these are very important verses. Srila Prabhupada has given many lectures on these verses. The first verse, often quoted, goes like this. Shri Rishabha Uvacha Nayam Deho Deha Bhajam Niloke Kashtan Kaman Arhate Vidbhujam Ye Tapo Divyam Putraka Yena Sattvam Shuddhe Yasman Brahma Sakhyatvanantam. Lord Rishabdev told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. So, like his instructions, and probably this verse sets the theme of his teachings. He explained the importance of human life. Generally, human beings are engaged in eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, and our current civilization is trained and educated to work hard with the hope of sense gratification and enjoyment without any concrete understanding of the goal of life. People are running and running without any sight of clear goal. Rishabdev states that human life is not meant for this kind of existence, which is enjoyed even by animals like dogs and hogs. Human life is meant for voluntary acceptance of austerities and penances in order to attain a divine life. By tapasya, one can get out of material clutches. Everyone is looking for happiness, and by following the Bhakti Yoga process, we can make an end to all problems of life. This human body is compared to a vehicle. We can use it to attain liberation or walk towards hell. This is the opportunity we have. Now, for those seeking liberation, it is suggested to associate with Mahatmas. Now, who are these Mahatmas? Srila Prabhupada comments that both impersonalists and devotees can be taken as Mahatmas, even though the goal of following them will be different. If we serve devotees, we will reach Krishna, but if we serve impersonalists, we can only reach up to Brahman realization. Such Mahatmas are equipoised they see all living beings equally and they are free from anger. And specifically, devotees are always engaged in service of the Lord. And we should try to take association of such Mahatmas and serve them. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommends that asatsanga tyag a Vaishnavachar, give up all abominable associations and take association of Krishna Bhaktas. A devotee is not interested in anything which is not related to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada advises that a householder should endeavor to earn money for the execution of Bhakti Yoga such that they can get full opportunity to hear and chant. On the other hand, one desiring to stay in the shackles of material life associates with women hunters and non-devotees and engages in sense gratification. Those for whom sense gratification is the main goal of life engage in all kinds of sinful activities, not knowing that all our miseries is due to accepting this body. Sense gratification only further implicates us in this miserable cycle. In reality, the living entity should not have taken this material body, and these miseries can be ended only by taking up a spiritual life. It is false to think that by piety or good work, reactions of sinful life can be destroyed. Good and bad karma doesn't offset each other. Actually, both cause bondage to material life, making us come back to enjoy or suffer the good and bad reactions. We are engaged in this karmic cycle because of our ignorance, and by knowledge of spiritual life, all reactions of material activities can be burned to ashes. Thus, by the knowledge about Lord Vasudeva and by surrender to him, this eternal ignorance can be destroyed. Lord Rishabdev also explains that sense gratification is a useless waste of time and only a mad person tries to enjoy material happiness centered around household life, behaving in an animalistic way. Attraction for the body of the other gender is the basic principle of materialistic life. This knot in the heart, Hridaya Granthi, is difficult to undo and it causes further bondage by subsequent attraction to property and wealth and implication with the consciousness of I, me and mine. Only when by devotee association and devotional service this knot in the heart is slackened, one can gradually give up the selfish mentality. Then they become eligible to return home back to Godhead. Lord Rishabdev also gives us steps to give up our false ego. To summarize briefly, this starts with accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and engaging in devotional activities while giving up sense gratification. By chanting, hearing, reading, and glorifying the Lord always, and by giving up negative habits like enmity and anger, gradually one becomes elevated in knowledge and is able to give up false ego. The sum and substance of these instructions is that one should refrain from acting out of desire for sense gratification and should instead always engage in Lord's loving service. Following these recommendations, one can come to the Brahmabhuta stage or the self-realized state. Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita 18.54 that such a person engages in pure devotional service. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshasi sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. One may try to come to this self-realized state also by other processes like yoga and philosophical speculation, but they have to give up this process after being liberated. But for devotees, their activities before and after the Brahmabhuta stage remain unchanged and they always engage in devotional service of the Lord. With this, I conclude my presentation. Please correct me if there were any mistakes. Thank you.
Super excellent. Srila Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhujis and Matajis. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, verses 15 to 35. This sections, there are 4 sections. It is divided into the first section talks, the verses are 15 to 18, obligations of a leader. Verses 19 to 20, the Lord and his devotee in one family. Verses 21 to 27 talk about the glory of the Brahmanas. Verses 28 to 35 talk about Lord Rishabhadev's renunciation as an Avaduta. First section, obligations of a leader. The responsibility of a leader is to discourage karmic activity without becoming angry. The leader should continue giving instructions and guide the neophyte disciple or neophyte devotee. Even if the disciple or the devotee, the son or citizen, is unable to follow, otherwise it is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in the well. Therefore, in the verse 15 of this chapter, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita 3.26. Na buddhi vedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam josayed sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. Let not the wise disrupt the minds of the ignorant who are attached to fruitive action. They should not be encouraged to refrain from work, but to engage in work in the spirit of devotion. Further, the qualities of these ignorant people, that they have lost sight of their own best interest, is also being referred by Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita 7.25. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha modoyam navijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my eternal creative potency, Yogamaya, and so the deluded world knows me not, who are unborn and infallible. Superior should not allow further entanglement, and if a superior engages his followers on the wrong path, then one should reject such superiors. And the examples of such superiors being rejected are Bali Maharaj rejected his spiritual master Sukracharya due to his inability to save Bali Maharaj from the path of repeated birth and death. Sukracharya was not a pure devotee. He was more or less inclined to fruitive activity, and he objected when Bali Maharaj promised to give everything to Lord Vishnu in the form of a dwarf, Vamanadev. Actually, one who is supposed to give everything to the Lord because everything belongs to the Lord. Prabhupada refers to Bhagavad Gita 9.27 shloka. Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Unless one is devoted, he cannot give everything to the Supreme Lord. Unless one can do so, he cannot become a spiritual master, husband, father, or mother. Vibhishana rejected Ravana, his relative. Prahlad Maharaj rejected Hiranyakashipu, his father. Bharat Maharaj rejected Kaikeyi, his mother. Katvanga Maharaj rejected Indra, the demigod. The wives of the Brahmanas rejected their husbands. Moving on, verses 19 and 20, the Lord and his devotee in one family. Rishabhadev's sons may ask, where is the Lord to whom we have to worship? And where is the devotee to whom we have to serve to attain bhakti? So Rishabhadev states that he himself is the Lord and the eldest brother Bharata is the devotee, and all of them should serve him. Verses 21 to 27 talk about the glory of the Brahmanas. Gradations and evolutionary cycle is described, and the Lord is inclined towards the Brahmanas. Possessing living force, vegetables, plants, trees, and grass are superior to dull matter, stone, earth, etc. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings. Superior to human beings are ghosts. Superior to ghosts are Gandharvas. Superior to Gandharvas are Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are Kinnaras. Superior to the Kinnaras are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods. Of the demigods, King Indra is the supreme. Superior to King Indra are the sons of Lord Brahma, like King Daksha. And supreme among Lord Brahma's son is Lord Shiva. Brahmaji is superior to Lord Shiva because Brahmaji is father of Shiva. Brahma is subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Lord is inclined towards the Brahmanas. So the Brahmanas referred here are not the caste Brahmanas, rather, they are qualified Brahmanas by Guna and Karma. The 8 qualities of Brahmanas are explained. First one is Sattva-guna, situated in the supreme transcendental mode of nature. Second one is Kshama, fixed in mind control. Third one is Dhamma, sense control. Fourth one is Satya, truthfulness. Fifth one is Anugraha, out of mercy. Sixth one is Tapasya, practice penance. Seventh one is Titiksha, tolerance. Eighth one is Anubhava. They realize the position of the living entity and the Supreme Lord. Rishabhadev says, worship the Brahmanas, simultaneously respect all living entities. Verses 28 to 35. Lord Rishabhadev's renunciation as an Avaduta, one who has surpassed the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma, he is called Avaduta. Lord Rishabhadev's instructions are meant for sannyasis who intend to become advanced devotee. Lord Rishabhadev's instructions to his perfectly educated and well cultured sons are just to set an example of how a father should instruct his sons before retiring from family life. Hare Krishna.
Super excellent. We'll hear from Abhishek Prabhu on the same last half of chapter 5 as well.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Seeking permission and blessings from all devotees, Srila Prabhupada and Shri Radha Krishna, to present on this final part. Continuing the previous presentation, now Rishabdev also instructs his son about the obligations of a leader, what are their responsibilities, who has taken charge of other people. So, which are also very relevant for devotees who may be guiding others. So, any person who takes responsibility of other devotees should guide them following these principles. They should always discourage karmic activities of the follower. Without becoming angry, they should continue giving instructions, even if sometimes the follower is not able to follow. And they should never allow the follower to be entangled further in material life. In general, everyone should be supported and encouraged to be engaged in devotional life, irrespective of their situation. And if a teacher is engaging a follower in the wrong path, such a teacher should not take a superior position. Now, it's also described that unintelligent people think that Supreme Lord accepts a body composed of material energy. Actually, his body is fully spiritual, even if he is appearing on the material plane. He doesn't take a body like us, which is forced by material nature. In the spiritual plane, servitors, the served, and service all are spiritual and variegated. But for materially conditioned soul, all this is inconceivable. Lord is the chief living entity and we are subordinate living entities. Lord is uncontaminated and so are his pure devotees. Lord Rishabdev makes Bharat Maharaj king of the planet because to protect dharma, Lord always wants devotees to rule the earth, just like Lord Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to rule the planet. Serving a devotee means serving the Supreme Lord, for a devotee always represents the Lord, and so Lord Rishabdev advises his other sons, to serve their eldest son, Bharat, serve their elder brother, Bharat. There are also different hierarchies of living entities described, and among these, the Vaishnava Brahmanas are the best. So everyone in general should worship these devotees of the Lord. Such Brahmanas are fixed in mind and sense control. They are truthful. They have assimilated the Vedic conclusions and realized the position of living entity and the Supreme Lord. And thus they are superior among all living entities. They simply want to engage in pure devotional service and do not want anything material. So they are the highest of all. So such Brahmanas are very worshipable. But at the same time, other living entities should also be respected. We should know that the Lord is situated in each and every body. That is, everyone is related to the Lord. So no one should be envied. In this way, we also give respect to the Lord. So Lord Rishabdev instructed his sons in this way, but actually he instructed all of us. Thus, after installing his eldest son Bharat as king of the world, Lord retired from family life and lived like an avadhuta without material cares. He was beyond the social conventions or varnashram dharma. Some people tried to disturb him, seeing his inconceivable behavior. Lord taught by his own example to be unaffected by such bodily disturbances. Especially taking this demeanor, he taught that mystic powers are a hindrance to devotional service and thus he never exercised these powers. Thank you for giving this opportunity to present. Please correct if there are any mistakes.
Super excellent. Any questions, comments, realizations for Abhishek and Sridhar Prabhu?
Prabhuji, perfect and very good, Prabhuji.
Correct. Both Sridhar Prabhu and Abhishek Prabhus have done very nice summary of chapter 5. I will also quickly summarize, although Abhishek and Sridhar Prabhus have already covered all the points very, very nicely. So chapter 5 is titled Lord Rishabdev's Teachings to his sons. Very important chapter, lot of important teachings. Lord Rishabdev highlights the importance of human life. Human body can grant liberation. Two types of materialists cause bondage. First one is one who is attached to woman and sense gratification. And the second is one who is simply a non-devotee. Positive is to associate and serve Mahatmas. There are two kinds of Mahatmas. One is the impersonalist Mahatma who worships Brahman, and second is the devotee Mahatma who worships Bhagwan. Obviously, serving devotee Mahatma is superior. So both these positive and negative points are important. Positive is to associate and serve devotee Mahatma, and the negative is to avoid association of those who are attached to sense gratification and who are non-devotees. So householder should endeavor to earn money for the execution of bhakti yoga described in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. A householder should lead such a life that he gets full opportunity to hear and chant, should worship Gopinath at home, observe festivals, invite friends at home and serve them prasadam. Householders should earn money for this purpose only and not for sense gratification, because sense gratification leads to perpetual transmigration. Due to ignorance, Jiva is engaged in karmic activities. To attain liberation, solution is love of Vasudeva. The male-female attraction causes double knot in the heart. One is it creates attraction to body, home, property, children, relatives, wealth, etc. And the second is in illusion, one thinks I was this and this is mine. The three broad steps to liberation are: one is the strong knot in the heart due to karma gets slackened. Second is one gives up basic principle of illusion of I, me, mine. The results in liberation and entrance into transcendental world. The Hridaya Ganti means the knot in the heart. How do you slacken this? The solution is by associating with sadhus and engaging in devotional service. One is gradually freed from the material conception due to knowledge, practice, and detachment, because of which the knot of attachment in the heart is slackened. Thus, one is freed from conditional life and becomes eligible to return home back to Godhead. Lord Rishabdev provides 25 processes to destroy ego so as to attain liberation. I have these 25 points on the screen from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, verses 10 to 13. The process is to destroy ego and attain liberation. I'll read these 25 points from the screen. 1. Following Guru and Lord with devotion. 2. Detaching from matter. 3. Tolerating dualities. 4. Realizing miserable condition of jivas. 5. Inquiring about truth. 6. Performing austerities. 7. Giving up endeavor for sense gratification. 8. Engaging in Lord's activities. 9. Hearing Lord's topics always. 10. Associating with Lord's devotees. 11. Chanting and glorifying Lord's transcendental qualities. 12. Being without enmity. 13. Seeing everyone equally. 14. Subduing anger, lamentation, etc. 15. Abandoning bodily identification. 16. Reading the revealed scriptures. 17. Living in a secluded place. 18. Practicing to control the life, air, mind, and senses. 19. Developing faith in Vedic literatures. 20. Observing celibacy always. 21. Performing one's prescribed duties. 22. Avoiding unnecessary talks. 23. Seeing Lord's presence everywhere. 24. Acquiring knowledge which produces realization. And 25. Practicing yoga. So these 25 processes Lord Rishabdev has provided to destroy ego so as to attain liberation. The sum and substance of these 25 processes is that one should refrain from acting out of desire for sense gratification and should instead always engage in Lord's loving service. Ignorant people have lost sight of their own best interest. Therefore, the responsibility of a leader is to discourage karma without being angry. Leader should continue giving instructions and guide the neophyte, disciple, or devotee, even if the disciple, the son, or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. Otherwise, is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. Srila Prabhupada therefore quotes Bhagavad Gita 3.26 that do not disturb people, just try to engage them in devotional service. Srila Prabhu very nicely recited, and Abhishek Prabhu also very nicely recited a difficult, very long verse. A superior should disallow further entanglement. If superior engages his followers on a wrong path, then one should reject such superior. Some examples of superiors who were superiors who were rejected are: one is Bali Maharaj rejected his Guru Shukracharya. Second, Vibhishan rejected his brother Ravan. Third, Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father Hiranyakashipu. Fourth, Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother Kaikai. 5, Katwanga Maharaj rejected demigod Indra. And 6, the wives of Brahmanas rejected their husbands. Rishabdev states that he himself is the Lord to his sons, that you should worship me and also worship the eldest brother Bharata, who is a devotee to whom you should serve. Rishabdev further teaches to serve Brahmanas because Brahmanas are best among all people. Lord Rishabdev says, worship the Brahmanas and simultaneously also respect all living entities. Lord Rishabdev lived as an Avadhuta and renounced everything. One who has surpassed the rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma is called an Avadhuta. Lord Rishabdev instructed his perfectly educated and cultured sons just to set an example of how a father should instruct his sons before retiring from family life. That's a quick summary of chapter 5. Questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yep.
What happened between Khatwang Maharaj and Indradev that he was rejected?
I don't have the whole story in front of me right now. I'll look it up and let you know later.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Why are ghosts superior to human beings, Prabhu?
Yeah, so that's one of the question in the question answer session. Also, I will answer right now that we'll read when we reach the question answer session. We'll read the verse where Prabhupada has actually described that because ghosts have subtle bodies, while humans have gross body. In that sense, ghosts are superior. This does not mean ghosts are superior to humans. Just understand from the context that is referring to the subtle body, that ghosts only have subtle body. And actually, when we reach the question answer session, we'll read where Prabhupada has described this in Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, verse 21 and 22. Srila?
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for listening with rapt attention. All right, I will also quickly summarize Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is titled the activities of Lord Rishabdev. Lord Rishabdev refused to manifest mystic perfections for which the so-called yogis hanker because of the beauty of devotional service. Devotees are not at all interested in so-called mystic power. Devotional service is more valuable than yogic mystic powers. Devotional service to the Lord is guaranteed for those who do not desire liberation and mystic power. Such siddhis are presented by the illusory energy of the Lord, means they are also material. Real purpose of the yoga system is to achieve the favor and shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Next, the nature of mind is described very nicely, that never trust the mind because mind can cheat at any time. Mind is like an unchaste wife. Mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear, causing bondage to karma. Mind takes on new condition at every moment, just as a cunning man behaves nicely, but then robs and kills a trusting man. Similarly, mind suddenly becomes absorbed in sinful objects and takes away the discriminating knowledge. The restless mind can cheat at any moment. Therefore, never make friends with the unsteady mind. Example, Shiva was also agitated by Mohini Murti. The long austerity of Saubhara Muni was quickly destroyed. Therefore, the first business of one trying to advance in spiritual life is to control the mind and senses. Mind is like unchaste wife. Mind gives facility to enemies like lust, anger, greed, when a yogi starts blindly trusting the mind. Therefore, never blindly trust the mind. Mind is like the unchaste wife whose paramours can come back to kill the husband. Mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear, causing bondage. So, what learned men will put faith in the mind? Best solution to control the mind is to proactively engage the mind always in Krishna consciousness, just as one gives a toy to a child to keep the child silent and occupied. Rishabdev concluded his pastime by teaching yogis how to give up body. To teach yogis, Lord Rishabdev lived as an avadhuta, acted as if dull and materially bound, although he has no material body. King Arhat hears the activities of Lord Rishabdev and being bewildered by Kalyug, Arhat imitates Lord Rishabdev's principles and creates a concocted false religious system. Jiva will benefit from hearing and chanting Lord Rishabdev's pastimes and not by imitating his behavior. The followers of Arhat's concocted false religious system will abandon varnashram, bathing, worship, and cleanliness, will accept concocted false religion, will deride Vedas, Brahmanas, Lord, and devotees, will follow disciplic succession of the blind, will fall down to darkest region of existence. Via his teachings, specifically in Canto 5, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabdev incarnate to deliver people from the clutches of Maya, who are overwhelmed by the modes of passion and ignorance. People of Bharatvarsh are most pious because they are accustomed to glorifying the auspicious activities of Lord's incarnations. Throughout the world, there is no question of bhakti yoga or devotional service, but the people of Bharatvarsh can easily understand the devotional service to the Lord. Thus, every inhabitant of Bharatvarsh can perfect his life by discharging bhakti yoga and then preaching this bhakti yoga throughout the world for the benefit of everyone. Devotees do not care for mukti or liberation. Rather, devotees are simply focused on doing devotional services. Devotional service unto the Lord is the highest attainment for anyone desiring liberation from the turbulations of material existence. When one attains the service of the Lord, which is not different from the Lord, one does not desire anything material. Real mukti means being situated in one's constitutional position as the Lord's servant. So going back to Godhead means one regains his original Swarupa as the eternal servant of eternal Master Krishna. One may be physically either in the material world or in the spiritual world, does not matter. Going back to Godhead means you have regained your original Swarupa as eternal servant. Therefore, when a living entity is engaged in Lord's loving service, he has already attained mukti. Consequently, a devotee does not aspire for mukti, even if it is offered by the Supreme Lord himself. Now, lastly, Parikshit Maharaj is thinking that Lord appeared in Priyavrata's dynasty as Rishabdev, in Uttanapada's dynasty as Prithu Maharaj, and Lord Kapila as Krishna in Yadu dynasty. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is thinking that Lord did not appear in his Kuru dynasty. So Lord Krishna is actually more affectionate to Pandavas as compared to Yadus. Therefore, Krishna gave highest prema to Pandavas. So because of Parikshit Maharaj's this thought, Sukadeva Goswami encourages Parikshit Maharaj by reminding Parikshit Maharaj of Lord Krishna's intimate dealings with Pandavas. As well as Sukadeva Goswami states the rarity of bhakti and the superiority of bhakti to liberation. Those engaged in getting the Lord's favor attain liberation from Lord very easily, but Lord does not very easily give the opportunity to render direct service unto him. Although Lord Krishna did not appear in the Kuru dynasty, he was so obligated to Pandavas' devotional service that Lord Krishna acted as their messenger and guided the Pandavas throughout many dangerous situations. Lord Krishna was more affectionate to the Pandavas due to Pandavas' devotional service. Bhakti Yoga is the basis for the supreme relationship with the Supreme Lord. Bhakti Yoga is far superior to liberation. Bhakti Yoga is rare. Last point is the Falashruti. The results of hearing and describing Lord Rishabdev's activities are: 1. Vanquish sinful activities. 2. Create complete auspiciousness. 3. Attain pure bhakti. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, realizations?
I was just
Prabhuji,
thinking. Sorry.
Mother Jija, go ahead.
Prabhuji, today's presentation by all the devotees helped me to understand the dedication of olden day leaders, how they guided the people to follow bhakti yoga, to respect others, to destroy ego and control the mind, Prabhuji. Compared,
Yeah, very good. Very good listening with rapt attention and correlating. Thank you. Abhishek?
I was thinking that like different devotees, even if like they present on the same topic, everyone can like from their own understanding and realization stress on various points. So in that way, also like listening again and again helps because there's always something more to learn.
Yeah, absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct that, or each presenter, they try to focus on a particular point. Not that the other points are not important. It's just that um, one devotee focuses on one, the other point, and therefore, the more you hear, the more relishing it becomes. Thank you again. Thank you for also listening with rapt attention for everybody. All right, I will now answer the inquiries submitted from the previous sessions. So the first question we already discussed at great length at our last class. I will now answer the second question, which also we discussed. Question number 2 is, how are ghosts superior to human as ghostly form is considered miserable? So as I discussed that, because ghosts have subtle bodies while humans have gross body, in that sense, ghosts are superior. This does not mean ghosts are superior to humans. Just understand from the context. And Prabhupada actually describes this in 5.5, 21 and 22 translation. I'll bring up on screen and we'll read. Mother Jija will read. I have on the screen 5.5.21 and 22 translations. Mother Jija, you want to read? Mother Jija? Chandran Prabhu can read translation.
Hare Krishna. Of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter, beings possessing living force, vegetables, grass, trees, and plants are superior to dull matter, stone, earth, etc. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings. And superior to human beings are ghosts because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas, and superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras, and superior to them are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods, and of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha, and supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior, but Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am inclined to the Brahmanas, the Brahmanas are best of all. Hare Krishna.
Right, so Prabhupada clearly says in a translation, ghosts are superior because they don't have material bodies, they only have subtle bodies. Abhi, Sridhar and everybody, does that answer?
Yes.
Yes.
Question number 3, thank you. question number 3 is, how is superiority among animals established in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.22? Why is one above another, as all animals have low chance of spiritual realization? So we have discussed this in Bhagavad Gita discussion, that all animals are in the mode of ignorance, and within ignorance there can be levels such as goodness, passion, and ignorance. So gentle animals like cow will be ignorance, goodness. Animals like tigers will be ignorance, passion. And most animals will be in ignorance, ignorance. So Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.21-22 translation that we just states that some animals are higher because of slightly developed intelligence. So if you read back here, Prabhupada says, animals that have developed intelligence. So some animals do have developed intelligence, not all. But essentially the point is that all animals are in ignorance, but there are levels of goodness, passion, and ignorance within ignorance. Does that answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. One clarification. This subcategories of ignorance, as you described, like, is this different from when we say that all the three modes are in competition? So, like, ignorance will be higher and other two left. Like, is this a different classification?
It's not a different classification, it's just within them there are levels. So overarching mode for the animals is ignorance. But then some have goodness. This does not mean that the tiger will have goodness. No, tiger will never have goodness. Yeah, he may have very tiny influence of goodness, especially say when a tiger is, say, giving birth to the baby. Yeah, he'll cuddle. That's kind of a goodness activity for a tiger. So even for animals, all three modes will be pulling at all times, but there will be a dominant, right? The tiger will have the passion together with ignorance as the dominant. Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Question number 4. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.22. Why does Srila Prabhupada describe in purport that living force can come out of matter? This is opposite to the point that life comes from life. So we'll read, and this will become clear, that if you actually read 5.5.21 and 22, paragraph number 3, Prabhupada says, although it may be said that in material world a living force is generated from matter, it must be admitted that originally matter is generated from the supreme living being. Meaning, Srila Prabhupada is not saying life comes from matter. Rather, Srila Prabhupada is saying that people in the material world think life comes from matter, but in reality, life comes from the Supreme Lord. So let's read. I'll bring up again. Mother Jija, are you now able to read? So I have 5.5.21-22, and we'll read the third paragraph. It says there are two energies, material and spiritual. Mother Jija? Okay.
There are, Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
There are two energies, material and spiritual, and both originally come from Krishna. Krishna is supreme living being. Although it may be said that in the material world, a living force is generated from matter, it must be admitted that originally matter is generated from the Supreme Living Being. Nitya Nam Chetanas Chetana Nam. Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. The conclusion is that everything, both material and spiritual, is generated from the Supreme Being. From the evolutionary point of view, perfection is reached when the living entity attains the platform of a Brahmana. A Brahmana is a worshipper of the Supreme Brahman, and the Supreme Brahman worships the Brahmana. In other words, the devotee is subordinate to the Supreme Lord, and the Lord is inclined to see to the satisfaction of his devotee. A Brahmana is called Dvija Deva, and the Lord is called Dvija Deva. He is the Lord of Brahmanas. The evolutionary process.
That's okay. So read the line, what Prabhupada says. Although people in the material think living force is generated from matter, but actually matter is generated from Supreme Living Being. Does that answer inquiry number 4?
The question was from the previous paragraph. In that purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that in this sense, life comes out of matter. Sorry. In other words, matter also has the potency to manifest living entities in the form of vegetables. In this sense, life also comes out of matter. But matter also comes out of life.
So what Prabhupada is saying, that Earth has the built-in capacity to create vegetables, right? That's what Prabhupada is saying. But,
Okay. Yes.
right? Like in the form of vegetables. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Does that help?
Yes, sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Question number 5. How could the population mistreat Rishabdeva, knowing him to be the personality of Godhead? So we read and discussed that in 5.5.30 says Rishabdev was indifferent to insults. So because people did not know Rishabdev to be Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore people mistreated him. So we also discussed in 5.6.6 that Rishabdev lived as an avadhuta, acted as if dull and materially bound, although Rishabdev has no material body. All this was just to teach to the yogis how to give up material body. And if you actually read 5.5.6 translation, that Prabhupada clearly says, consequently, no one could observe his divine opulence. If I go to 5.5.6, I have the wrong reference. I'll have to, one of the reference says, no one could observe his divine opulence. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
Let's see if it is 5.6.6. Right. Yeah, it's 5.6.6 says, consequently, nobody could observe his divine opulence. All right, last question for today. If material desire promises sense gratification, it leaves one unsatisfied. What does this reveal about the longing of the soul? So soul is always pure. Due to association with material nature, soul is contaminated with the wrong desires. Hence, the jiva thinks, I am this body. Soul is always pure, just the desires get contaminated. Therefore, the soul has to purify to get back to original Swarupa of being the eternal servant of the eternal master, Krishna. And there's one more inquiry about respecting others. So I will answer that one leftover inquiry later. Any questions, comments, realizations? So my last request to all of you that you delete Zoom from your devices and reinstall Zoom so that updates get pushed onto your devices. Or if you are on your computer, you have the option to click updates to update Zoom. So you should all frequently update Zoom. There are so many updates going through. So on devices like phone or iPad, you just have to delete Zoom and reinstall. That's a simpler way. On computer, you click updates. So after this class today, I will send Prabhupada lectures to listen to. And for our next session, which is after 1 week, read Canto 5, chapters 7 and 8. Chapter 7 is very, very small. So read both chapters, Canto 5, chapters 7 and 8. And as I mentioned at the start, that next week, there is no class due to Rath Yatra in Toronto. I will send Srila Prabhupada lectures in lieu of next week's class. And as I mentioned at the start for the new batch, so mid-September 2026, the week of Radha Ashtami, new batch number 8 will start. So let's try for at least 108 plus souls to join the batch, because batch 8 is an auspicious number, very close to or representing Krishna. So let's try for another auspicious 108 souls. Look for all your friends and family. Just get them to join. And in that same Radha Ashtami week, new batch of Srimad Bhagavatam will start for batch 6 and 7, as well as in that same Radha Ashtami week, Canto 3 will start for batches 3, 4, and 5. So pretty auspicious week and a lot of new beginnings happening. I request your help and support in those lines. Any questions, comments, Srila?
Is there any timing for this new batch?
Sundays around 9 a.m. Toronto time. That's my target. Could become 9:30, but I'm more inclined to Sundays 9 a.m. for the Bhagavad Gita batch. For Srimad Bhagavatam batch is Fridays 9 p.m. Toronto time. For Bhagavad Gita, it's Sundays 9 a.m. So I'll create a visual for all of this and share as we progress.
Thank you.
Abhishek, you had your sister wanting to join, you can try. All right, we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.